It's 3 o'clock somewhere. Here, a principal is saying, "Don't yell." But of course, they yell. And a teacher is saying, "Don't run." But of course, they run. After all, they're kids. It's what they do.
Hello, Matthew. Hello, Omega. Hi, Bill. Hey, where's your brother?
Here is a rainbow of skin tones. Here is the most United Nations eclectic after-school carpool on Earth.
Hey, you guys, let everybody in.
Nepalese, Guatemalans, Syrians, and Somalis, who once upon a time had to be the most excited and relieved kids on Earth for the school day to end.
A lot of these children were struggling because, a child would get here having spent years in a refugee camp and then just plugged into 4th grade. Never been to school, never had any kind of formal schooling, and then they come home with homework. The parents can't help them because the parents don't speak English. So we saw the hunger to be accepted, the hunger to be helped.
Everybody buckle up.
Stories of Hope is a podcast about people who meet needs, build relationships, and change lives. In this episode, when you're a kid, 4th grade is hard. But when you're a refugee kid, when you've never attended 1st, 2nd, or 3rd grade, and when the only English you know is what you picked up from the Disney Channel, 4th grade is pretty nearly impossible.
So what do you guys like about school? Oh, recess. That must be pretty tough.
That's how it was in Clarkston, Georgia. But now, that's not how it is. Because here, it's now 13 minutes past 3 o'clock.
All right, you guys, you can unload.
The time of day, every school day, when multiplication tables, verb-subject agreement, and the War of 1812 all begin to make sense.
And you are going to have to wait. Skipping will not get you quicker.
In this episode of Stories of Hope, when kids race across a church parking lot to see who can get to their homework first, good things, God things, are bound to happen.
All right, sir, you are the last contestant off the band today. We shall see you inside, Mr. Ed.
Yes, ma'am.
Today's episode, After-School Special. It is now 3:15 p.m., and all the world's a giant pinball machine. Soccer balls ricochet off the walls. Basketball-shaped missiles fall from the sky. Little girls with hijabs and little boys with adrenaline run and kick and somersault and cartwheel and dribble and shoot and kick and collide. And somewhere near the eye of the hurricane, Edward Crafter stands bravely in the middle of it all. Edward's been here at Clarkston International Bible Church every school day for the last 8 years.
Oh, yes!
He's the free throw encourager, the shuttle bus driver, and the grandfather figure for Family Heritage Foundation, an after-school tutoring ministry for refugee kids in Clarkston.
I'm 68, and retirement came early for a solid year. I bombed around, and after that year was up, that's when I started to search and ask God, with all this time I've got on my hand, what do you want me to do with it? Well, he called me not long after I said those memorable words. Phone rings.
Spell sunshine.
Sunshine.
Correct.
It's now 3:45 p.m. If you just listened and didn't know any better, you'd think you were standing in the hallway of an elementary school, not a church.
Okay, on this side, spell the word subtract.
There's 30 or 40 kids from almost as many different countries, sitting in Sunday school classrooms, pencils up, books open, a volunteer tutor over almost every shoulder.
Does anyone need help with homework?
This is what Bennett Akundum and his wife Idong started here in Clarkston 15 years ago.
It is harder for the kids that just coming in to get their arms around how we do homework here. Not only the kids, the parents, because the parents do not understand how the school system works in America. That's why they send them to us.
We didn't know much about the refugee situation until we started. And in the beginning, I was kind of judgmental because when we work with children and then we're, sending them home at 6 o'clock and they say, well, nobody's home. Parents are not home. And I would get upset. What parent, leaves their home so that a 10-year-old child is basically alone? Until I began to understand it's because they have to work. They're willing to work 12-hour shifts for a minimum wage with no insurance. So they're people just wanting to survive. They just want a life.
If he were a grown-up, most people would think of Ali as a gifted linguist. After all, in most every conversation, Ali drifts effortlessly from one language to another.
I'm in 5th grade.
But unfortunately, when you're 10 years old, being multilingual can be more of a curse than a blessing.
I speak to my mom in Somali and I speak to my dad in English. And then sometimes, like when I ask my dad something in English, then I have to ask my mom something. I kind of get the words mixed up. Then I get kind of confused. Then I have to remind myself that I said the wrong word.
10 and 5? Yeah. So you could draw 10.
Ali's been coming to Family Heritage for just 1 year. Like many refugee kids, he's good at anything related to numbers.
My favorite part about school is math. And I like math because I get to learn about new stuff about geometry and all sort of things that apply to real life.
He will tell you 1 + 1 is 2 in America, just like it was in Somalia. But everything with words, that's where Ali needs help. His mother doesn't speak English, and his father Khalid is almost never home. He works every day at a grocery store and every night at a warehouse.
I have 6 kids, 2 boys and 4 girls. And here I work in 2 jobs to take care of the family. So I'm not gonna have that much time, but I can assist them with their homework. I told them a lot. I said, guys, focus on your education. So Mr. Bennett program he have here, where he helping refugees to come in here to help them with their homework. Without them, honestly, it would have been big struggle for us. But for them in here to help us, my son, first semester he finished with all A's.
There are refugee families in almost every community in North America. You and your church can meet needs and build witnessing relationships with them. For tips on how, go visit them on the web at fhfi.org. That's fhfi.org. And join us in 2 weeks for another episode of Stories of Hope.